and welcome back to English class. Today is day 3 of our Fantasy Book Club unit. We just finished chapter 3 of The Thief of Always. So Harvey has made it. He's made it to the holiday house. He's inside, and Mrs. Griffin has prepared a wonderful lunch for him, and it's making me hungry. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning, so that's a problem. So far, we've talked about analyzing the setting. So thinking about the setting, looking for things about the time and the place that are interesting. Thinking about magical elements that come up in the story so far. And then yesterday we talked about the mood or the atmosphere of the setting, okay, and what role that may play in the story. We finished yesterday by talking about or noticing the change in the setting from Harvey's town, Millsap, before walking through the wall. Right, it was gray and rainy and foggy and kind of chilly, kind of dreary. But then when he walks through that wall, through that portal, it's sunny and the grass is high and there are flowers and the house is on top of the hill. And inside the house, he says it looks like it was made for games, and like games of tag and chasing each other around. So today we're going to think about power. And fortunately for us, power is something that we've thought about before. If you remember back to the Social Issues Book Club unit, we read a story called My Side of the Story. And in it we learned about two brothers, and one of them was teasing the other. He stuck a ball of tape in his brother's head, and the one boy went to tell his mom, so he burst into his mom's bedroom, but his dad was there, and he got in trouble, right? His dad gave him a beating. So we've done this kind of thinking before, and we're going to do the same thing with The Thief of Always. So I will show you how I do that now, and then this is something that you might do today as you work in your books and talk to your groups. Okay, so our goal is to investigate power in the stories we read, asking who has the power, and analyzing the visible signs of power in its different forms. Okay, so here's the chart from our Social Issues unit. Okay, so we thought about who has the power, why does that power issue feel important, how is it related to a bigger social issue, and then how can they teach us bigger life lessons. All right, so these are the kinds of things I'm thinking about as I think back on what I've read so far in The Thief of Always. Okay, so as I read, I was taking notes, and I made this page in my notebook. Okay, and I started by looking at the relationships that I've read about so far. And I've got Harvey and his mom, and then Harvey and Rictus. So with Harvey and his mom, I haven't learned much about the relationship yet that lets me see a power difference. Okay, I noticed that Harvey kind of ignores his mom. He's not real happy when she tells him to clean up his room. Okay, so if he had done exactly what she said immediately, I might have more to say about the power in their relationship. But as of right now, it's kind of like he just sort of listens to her. And I didn't see anything in chapter 2 related to power and that relationship. Now with Harvey and Rictus, it's a little different story. And the reason it's different is because Rictus has something that Harvey wants. Okay, so I'm thinking that in situations where there's a person who wants something, and then there's another person who kind of has the key to getting that thing, the person with the key has the power. Okay, and in this case, Rictus's offer to help Harvey rid himself of the boredom that's caused by February Rictus has the key to that, right? And I notice in the story that he uses that to kind of manipulate Harvey. And if you look here, this is what we can call writing long. Okay, so I had this idea here that I wrote in my table here, but then I wrote long about Rictus and Harvey because I think there's a lot in the book so far about their relationship. And to me, it seems like Rictus is manipulating Harvey a bit. So I think that Rictus is acting like Harvey really has a choice. Like he really has a choice to go to the holiday house or say no, or that he's got a choice about how long he's going to stay there. But I kind of got the feeling that Harvey doesn't really have a choice. Okay, and some of the things that Rictus does that make me think this are the way he talks to Harvey. So one of the things he says is like, no questions. Okay, you can't ask questions. You just got to kind of follow what I do. At another point, he says, you can go anytime you want. Okay. At another point, he says, if you don't want to come, there are many other kids that I can bring. Okay, so I don't think it's Harvey's intention there, or I'm sorry, I don't think it's Rictus's intention to give Harvey a choice and then just go take another kid to the holiday house. I feel like he wants Harvey there, but he also wants Harvey to feel like Harvey's making the decision on his own. Okay, and I think this is interesting. This is something I'm going to try to follow as we move further into the book. Okay, so I took some notes on it right here. Okay, so this is something you might do today with your own book, right? When you find an interesting, when you find something interesting about power or about a relationship, write long about it. Okay, and this is only, it's a short paragraph. It's 3 or 4 sentences, but this will be interesting to come back to when I get further in the story. All right, so as you work today, here are some things you might do. Okay, you might reread some parts of the book that reveal something about the main character. Okay, so I know we're just starting, but remember that we know the beginning of a book is full of details that kind of lay a path for the plot. So we got to pay close attention in the beginning. Okay, we can use some thought prompts to think deeper about each detail. So we can ask ourselves, like, why did the author do this? Why might this be important? What might this signal that's coming in the future? Okay, another thing to think about is what the character wants. Okay, this one's real important because even in 2 chapters of The Thief of Always, we know that there's something the main character wants. Right? He doesn't want to be bored. And another character is able to give that to Harvey, right? And this creates a gap in power, a distance. And Rictus has the power because he can say, come with me, or no, you can't go. All right? So when you have those ideas, it's a good idea to write long, okay? And that's what I did on the side here, over here. So this is something I'd like to see you do today. Now, one thing I want to add is that the assignments each day are to submit your notebook pages. So I noticed that not everybody's doing that. Yesterday, some people submitted their reading schedule. Okay, you've shared that with me, so that's fine. You don't need to submit it in Classroom. But what I want to see is the thinking that's going on as you read. All right, and the only way for me to see that is in your notebook. So make sure that sometime today you are taking a picture of your notebook and submitting it to the Day 3 assignment. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you in a conference.